The Discovery. Dr. Maya Okafor stood at the viewport of Helios Station, the Earth-Moon L5 research outpost that had been her home for the past 3 years. The blue marble of Earth hung suspended against the void, a reminder of everything she was working to protect. Behind her, the quantum resonance chamber hummed with energy, its crystalline lattice structure capturing and redirecting space-time fluctuations in ways that defied conventional physics. Status report, Maya called over her shoulder, fingers tracing invisible equations in the air, a habit she'd developed during her years at MIT. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, her chief engineer and longtime colleague, studied the holographic readouts floating above his workstation. The fold is stable at 86%, Maya. Better than yesterday's trial. Still not enough, she muttered. 3 years of research, billions in funding, and they remained tantalizingly close to proving her unified space-time manipulation theory. A theory that could revolutionize human civilization, if she could make it work. The quantum resonance chamber represented humanity's most advanced technology, a hybrid of quantum computing, zero-point energy manipulation, and theoretical physics that even Maya sometimes struggled to fully comprehend. The chamber wasn't just measuring reality. It was interacting with it, creating microscopic folds in the fabric of space-time. Captain Elena Vasquez entered the lab, her normally composed expression betraying concern. Maya, we've got a situation. Something's approaching the station. Approaching? You mean from Earth? No. Elena's voice dropped. From deep space. Moving fast. Very fast. Maya felt a chill that had nothing to do with the station's climate control. Humanity had yet to detect any definitive sign of extraterrestrial intelligence, despite centuries of searching. Now, at the exact moment they were experimenting with fundamental forces of the universe, something was approaching from deep space. How long? She asked, already moving toward the main observatory. 20 minutes, maybe less. The observatory's massive display showed it clearly, a vessel of impossible design, shaped like interlocking hexagonal rings that seemed to rotate independently of one another. No visible propulsion system, no radiation signature. It simply moved, defying every law of physics Maya understood. What is that? Hiroshi whispered beside her. Before anyone could answer, every screen in the observatory flickered, then displayed the same message in perfectly rendered English. CEAC your dimensional NTRVRNCs. Prepare for inspection. Maya's blood ran cold. They're here because of us. Because of the fold. Elena was already on the emergency comm with Earth Command. This is Helios Station. We have first contact scenario. Repeat, first contact. Request immediate instructions. The alien vessel decelerated without any visible means of propulsion, coming to a perfect stop 2 kilometers from the station. A smaller craft detached from the main structure, approaching with deliberate slowness. They're coming aboard, Elena announced, her military training keeping her voice steady despite the historic magnitude of the moment. Maya's mind raced. No human had ever encountered an extraterrestrial intelligence. There were protocols, of course, theoretical procedures developed by linguists, anthropologists, and military strategists, but nothing that prepared you for the real thing. What do they want with the fold? Hiroshi asked. Maya watched the approaching vessel. They called it dimensional interference. They know exactly what we're doing, which means they understand the technology. Hiroshi finished. The alien craft docked with surgical precision. Station sensors indicated atmospheric matching. They were breathing the same air. The inner airlock door cycled open. The being that emerged defied expectation. It stood nearly 7 feet tall, with a body like polished obsidian that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Multiple limbs, 4, 6, Maya couldn't quite tell as they seemed to shift position, moved with fluid grace. Its face, if it could be called that, featured no recognizable features except 3 glowing points arranged in a triangle, where eyes and mouth might be on a human. Behind it came two others of distinctly different form, one resembling a crystalline structure that hovered above the ground, the other a smaller, multi-limbed creature with copper-colored skin and what appeared to be external respiratory organs. "I am emissary Vex of the Galactic Concord," the obsidian being spoke, its voice resonating directly in Maya's mind without passing through the air between them. "You have been manipulating space-time in violation of Concord Preservation Edict 7.1. This is a Category 1 prohibited technology." Maya stepped forward despite Alina's cautioning hand on her arm. "I am Dr. Maya Okafor, lead physicist of this research station. We were unaware of any galactic laws. We are simply pursuing scientific understanding." The crystalline being chimed, a sound like breaking glass that somehow formed words. "The humans do not comprehend. They are infants playing with universe-ending forces." "We mean no harm," Maya insisted. "Our work is theoretical, aimed at advancing our understanding of the universe." "Show us," commanded Vex. Against Alina's whispered objections, Maya led the aliens to the quantum resonance chamber. The crystalline being immediately moved toward the equipment, examining it with what Maya assumed was keen interest. "Primitive interfaces," it chimed, "yet the configuration, impossible." Vex turned its featureless face toward Maya. "Your species should not have this capability. The neural structure required to conceptualize sixth-dimensional folding is beyond your evolutionary development." The smaller, copper-skinned alien spoke for the first time, its voice a bubbling whisper. "The theories are correct, emissary. These humans have independently discovered void manipulation. The mathematical signatures are unmistakable." Maya felt a surge of pride despite the circumstances. Her theory was valid. So valid that it had drawn the attention of an interstellar civilization. "Explain how you conceived this," Vex demanded. Maya gestured to the holographic equations hanging in the air. It began with reconciling quantum field theory with general relativity. "We discovered that space-time isn't just curved by mass as Einstein theorized. It's fundamentally malleable at the quantum level. By creating specific resonance patterns, we can temporarily alter local space-time properties." The crystalline being made a sound like shattering ice. "The human speaks truth, yet this should be beyond their comprehension. Something is wrong." Vex moved closer to Maya, its presence overwhelming. "Your mind is unusual. Open your thoughts." Maya felt a pressure inside her skull, not painful but insistent. Images flashed through her mind. Childhood memories, university lectures, the moment of insight when she first scrawled the core equation of her theory on a coffee-stained napkin at 3 a.m. Vex withdrew abruptly. "Impossible. This human perceives reality as we do." The copper alien burbled excitedly. "A mutation. A convergent evolution." "Neither," Vex replied. "Something else. Something unprecedented." Maya steadied herself against a console, head spinning from the mental intrusion. "What are you talking about?" "Your species should not be able to conceptualize space-time manipulation," Vex explained. "The neural architecture required evolved in our species after millions of years of development. Yet you, alone among your kind, can see the patterns." "Not alone," Maya corrected. "My colleagues understand the theory. They understand your equations, but they do not truly see as you do." Vex turned to the other aliens. "This changes our assessment." The conversation shifted to something Maya couldn't understand. Patterns of light from the crystalline being, vibrations from the copper alien, and silence from Vex that nonetheless conveyed meaning to the others. Finally, Vex addressed Maya again. "The Concord must deliberate on this development. Your facility will be placed under observation. Continue your research, but attempt no practical applications." "Wait," Maya protested. "You can't just arrive here, tell us we're breaking some law we didn't know existed, and then leave us in limbo." "The alternative," Vex stated coldly, "is immediate neutralization of this facility and all knowledge of this technology. Is that your preference?" Maya felt Alina tense beside her, hand moving subtly toward the sidearm she carried. No, Maya said quickly. Observation is acceptable, but we deserve answers. In time, Vex conceded. For now, know this. What you call the fold is one aspect of a technology that reshaped the galaxy once before. Its misuse led to the collapse of entire civilizations. That is why it is forbidden. With that cryptic statement, the aliens departed, leaving behind a small device that hovered silently in the corner of the lab, watching, measuring, reporting back to its masters. What just happened? Hiroshi asked when they were alone. Maya stared at the quantum resonance chamber, mind racing with implications. First contact, and they're afraid of us. Afraid? They could have destroyed this station with ease, Alina pointed out. Yet they didn't, Maya replied. Because I surprised them. They expected to find dangerous primitives, but instead they found something else. She looked at the equations floating above her workstation. We need to continue our work, but carefully. Very carefully. You can't be serious, Alina objected. They explicitly told us not to pursue practical applications. And we won't. Not officially. Maya's eyes gleamed with determination. But we're going to keep developing the theory. Because something about human minds, about my mind specifically, frightens them. And I need to understand why. Within days, word of the alien visitation spread across Earth, causing the expected mixture of panic, religious fervor, and scientific excitement. What didn't spread was complete information about why they had come. That remained classified at the highest levels, known only to key scientists and government officials. Meanwhile, aboard the massive alien vessel now in orbit around Saturn, emissary Vex communicated with the Galactic Concord's High Council. The situation is unprecedented, Vex reported. A pre-FTL civilization has independently developed void manipulation theory. More concerning, at least one human possesses the neural architecture to perceive multidimensional space intuitively. The response came instantly across vast interstellar distances, a testament to the Concord's mastery of the very technology they sought to control. Assessment of threat level, asked the Council. Critical, Vex replied without hesitation. If humans master this technology with their current psychological and societal development, the consequences could rival the Shatter War. Recommendation. Vex hesitated, an unusual behavior for its species. Standard protocol would indicate immediate technological regression of the species and memory alteration. However, there is something about these humans. Their minds work differently. The one called Maya Okafor has potential beyond any individual I have encountered in centuries of service. Explain. She sees patterns that should be imperceptible to her species, and if one human has evolved this capability, others will follow. They are adapting at an accelerated rate. The Council was silent for several moments. Continue observation. Prepare containment protocols, but delay implementation. If these humans truly possess the capability you describe, they may represent either the greatest threat or the greatest opportunity the Concord has encountered in millennia. As the communication ended, Vex turned its attention back to Earth, focusing on the quantum resonance chamber where Maya Okafor was already back at work, pushing the boundaries of what her alien observers had deemed impossible for her kind. The game had changed. The rules that had governed interspecies contact for thousands of years no longer applied. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage, not with radio signals or primitive spacecraft, but by tearing at the very fabric of reality itself. And the galaxy had noticed. The revelation. 6 months after first contact, Earth had changed irrevocably. The knowledge that humanity was not alone in the universe had unified some aspects of human society while fracturing others. Religious institutions struggled to incorporate the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence into their doctrines. Governments formed new coalitions, setting aside old enmities in the face of a potential cosmic threat. And through it all, the alien observer remained in the corner of Maya's lab, silently watching. "They're getting impatient," Maya said, not looking up from her calculations as Admiral Lai, the newly appointed head of Earth's extraterrestrial defense initiative, entered the lab. "How can you tell?" the Admiral asked, eyeing the hovering alien device with suspicion. Maya gestured vaguely toward it. "The quantum resonance patterns it emits changed 3 days ago. More frequent scanning, higher energy output. Something's happened." In the months since the alien's visit, Maya had made remarkable progress, not just in understanding the full technology, but in perceiving the alien's own technologies. What had begun as intuition had developed into a strange new sense, as if she could feel the quantum states shifting around her. "We've detected increased activity in their fleet," Admiral Lai confirmed. 3 new vessels arrived yesterday, taking positions around Jupiter's moons. Our analysts think they're preparing for something." Maya finally looked up. Dark circles under her eyes spoke of too many sleepless nights. "They're preparing to shut us down. They've been watching, waiting to see if we abandon the research voluntarily. And instead, you've accelerated it." The Admiral's tone wasn't accusatory, merely stating fact. "Because time is running out." Maya activated a holographic display showing Earth and its surrounding space. Tiny points of light indicated the known alien vessels. "They didn't come here by accident, Admiral. Something directed them to us, specifically to this moment in our development. The full technology. Not just the technology. The fact that humans can conceptualize it at all." Maya pulled up another display showing brain scans, her own compared to other researchers. "Vex said my neural architecture should be impossible for humans. But it's not just me anymore." The scans showed subtle but distinct changes in the brain patterns of everyone who had worked closely with the full theory. Hiroshi's scan showed similar structures to Maya's, though less pronounced. "It's spreading," Maya explained. "The more they work with the concepts, the more their brains adapt to perceive multi-dimensional space. It's like learning a language rewires your brain to think in new patterns." Admiral Lai studied the scans. "Are you saying humans are evolving? In real time? Not genetically, at least not yet. But neurologically, yes. And that terrifies them." Maya nodded toward the alien observer. "Their entire galactic civilization is built on rigid category systems. Which species can comprehend which technologies, which civilizations are mature enough for certain knowledge. We're breaking their rules simply by understanding things they believe we shouldn't be able to grasp." "So what happens now?" Maya took a deep breath. "Now we stop hiding." She pulled up a new holographic model, a full-scale version of the quantum resonance chamber, but vastly more complex than the current prototype. "This is the true fold. Not just a theory or small-scale experiment, but a functioning space-time manipulation device. According to my calculations, it could create a stable fold in reality large enough to transport matter instantaneously across vast distances." Admiral Lei's eyes widened. "A teleportation device." "Much more than that. It doesn't just move matter through space. It moves it through a controlled dimensional fold. Distance becomes irrelevant. And that's just the beginning of what's possible. The aliens will never allow it, which is why we need to build it now, before they decide we've become too dangerous to tolerate." The decision moved up the chain of command with unprecedented speed. Within 24 hours, Project Revelation was initiated. The entire Helios station was repurposed, with hundreds of additional scientists and engineers shuttled up from Earth. The quantum resonance chamber was moved to the station's core, where a massive new facility was constructed around it. Through it all, the alien observer watched, its scanning patterns growing increasingly agitated. 2 weeks into the project, they came. The alien vessels converged on Earth simultaneously, 15 massive ships taking up positions around the planet. Smaller craft surrounded Helios Station, though they made no hostile moves. Emissary Vex returned, this time accompanied by representatives from a dozen different species. They entered the station without invitation or warning, materializing directly in the main laboratory where Maya and her team were working. "This ends now," Vex stated, its mental voice resonating with what Maya recognized as genuine alarm. "You were instructed not to pursue practical applications of void manipulation. Maya faced the alien delegation calmly. We're exercising our right to scientific advancement. You have no authority over humanity. We have the authority of survival, chimed the crystalline being. Nexus, Maya had learned, was its name. What you are building could tear apart the fabric of this region of space. Only if used improperly, Maya countered, which we have no intention of doing. A new alien stepped forward. A towering entity composed of what appeared to be interconnected luminous filaments arranged in humanoid form. When it spoke, the air itself seemed to vibrate. I am Elder Calathra of the Concord High Council, it announced. I have traversed 18,000 light-years to witness this aberration personally. In 10,000 cycles, no pre-FTL species has ever developed void manipulation independently. Maya felt a strange pressure in her mind, stronger than Vex's previous intrusion, more focused. You're scanning me, she stated. Yes, the Elder acknowledged. And what I find is troubling. Your neural patterns have continued to evolve. And you are not alone. Its attention shifted to Hiroshi and several other researchers whose brains now showed similar adaptations. This is precisely why we're here, another alien interjected. A small, amphibious creature with multifaceted eyes. The humans represent a fundamental threat to cosmic stability. Their minds should not be capable of this understanding, yet they adapt with alarming speed. Because you're wrong about us, Maya stated simply. Your entire classification system is flawed. Human minds aren't limited the way you think they are. Admiral Lai and a contingent of armed security personnel arrived, positioning themselves behind Maya's team. The tension in the room could have been cut with a knife. This display of force is irrelevant, Vex stated. If we wished you harm, your weapons would provide no protection. Then why haven't you acted? Maya challenged. 6 months you've watched us. If we're such a threat, why allow us to continue? Elder Calathra's luminous form brightened. Because you present a paradox that requires resolution before action. Your species simultaneously demonstrates primitive aggression and remarkable cognitive flexibility. This combination does not exist elsewhere in the known galaxy. That's humanity in a nutshell, Maya said with a grim smile. Now you can either help us ensure this technology is implemented safely, or you can stand back and watch us develop it anyway. The alien delegation communicated among themselves in ways Maya couldn't perceive, though she sensed the intense debate occurring. Finally, Elder Calathra addressed her again. You will demonstrate this device now. We must assess its true capabilities and your understanding of its principles. Maya nodded to her team. The prototype fold was ready. Had been ready for days, in fact. They had been waiting for this confrontation. The quantum resonance chamber activated, its crystalline lattice structure glowing with impossible colors as it began manipulating the fabric of reality itself. A spherical distortion formed in the center of the chamber, a perfect fold in space-time that grew until it was 2 meters in diameter. Remarkable precision. Nexus chimed, scientific curiosity momentarily overriding alarm. The dimensional boundaries are perfectly aligned. Because Maya sees them, Hiroshi explained. She doesn't just understand the mathematics, she perceives the fold directly. As if to demonstrate, Maya approached the sphere, her hands moving through complex patterns around its perimeter, adjusting quantum states that should have been invisible. The fold responded, its structure shifting subtly. Impossible, whispered the amphibious alien. No organic mind should be capable of direct void manipulation without technological interface. Maya stepped back from the fold. What you're failing to understand is that human consciousness itself is an interface between dimensions. Our perception of time, our ability to conceptualize abstract spaces, these aren't just intellectual exercises. They're fundamental aspects of how our minds interact with reality. The fold pulsed once, then stabilized into a perfect mirror-like surface. Within it, they could see what appeared to be another place entirely, a view of Earth from high orbit, though Helios Station was nowhere visible. A spatial fold only, Maya explained. No temporal displacement, just a proof of concept. Elder Calathra approached the fold luminous filaments extending toward it without quite touching its surface. You understand the implications of what you've created. Better than you might think, Maya replied. This isn't just about transportation or communication. It's about the nature of reality itself and humanity's place within it. The elder withdrew, turning to face the assemblage of aliens and humans. The Concord has existed for 50,000 of your years. In that time, we have cataloged over 12,000 intelligent species across 9 galactic sectors. We have developed and refined protocols for integrating new civilizations into the galactic community based on their cognitive and technological development. It paused, luminous form flickering with what might have been uncertainty. No species has ever forced us to reconsider these protocols. Until now. Maya felt a strange sensation, something between pride and terror. So what happens now? Now we must adapt. Elder Calathra's voice resonated not just in her mind, but seemingly through her entire being. Just as your minds have adapted to perceive the void. The alien delegation withdrew to one side of the laboratory, communicating in their incomprehensible mixture of light, sound, and thought. The humans waited, tense and uncertain. Finally, Vex approached Maya. The Concord High Council has reached a preliminary decision. Humanity will not be restricted from pursuing this technology. A collective breath was released among the human contingent. However, Vex continued, neither will you be left to develop it in isolation. I will remain as permanent liaison between Earth and the Concord, along with a scientific delegation to ensure safe implementation of void technology. You mean to supervise us? Admiral Lai said, his tone suggesting he found the arrangement less than ideal. To collaborate, Elder Calathra corrected, joining Vex. What we have witnessed here indicates that human minds may perceive aspects of reality that even our most advanced species cannot. This is unprecedented. Maya considered the proposal. And if we discover applications of the technology that the Concord hasn't approved, then we will address those developments as they arise, the elder replied. But know this, the reason void manipulation is restricted throughout the galaxy is not arbitrary control. Its misuse once tore apart entire regions of spacetime, creating moons in reality that still have not healed after millions of years. The elder's form shifted, creating a small holographic display of a distant galaxy with a massive dark region at its center. This was once the homeworld of the precursor civilization. Their mastery of void technology exceeded even our current understanding. Their hubris led to this. The dark region wasn't empty space, Maya realized with a shock. It was absence, a place where reality itself had been damaged so severely that nothing could exist within it. We understand the risks, Maya said quietly, but hiding knowledge has never been the answer to preventing its misuse. No, the elder agreed, but wisdom must accompany knowledge, something your species is still developing. Maya felt a change in the atmosphere of the room, the tension transmuting into something else, something like cautious hope. Then perhaps we can learn from each other. That said, Elder Calathra, its luminous form brightening, is the first truly wise thing I have heard from a human. In the days that followed, Helios Station transformed again, not into a military research facility, but into humanity's first true collaboration with extraterrestrial intelligence. The quantum resonance chamber was redesigned with input from a dozen alien species, each contributing understanding from their unique perceptual frameworks. 6 weeks after the confrontation, Maya stood in the observation deck with Vex, watching Earth rotate slowly below them. The full technology had already revolutionized Earth's infrastructure, with small-scale applications allowing instantaneous transport of goods and information across the planet. Your species advances quickly, Vex observed. Too quickly, some would say. We've had to, Maya replied. Our history is full of existential threats, most of our own making. It's forced us to adapt. Yet that adaptation comes at a cost. Vex turned its featureless face toward her. The neural changes we've observed in humans working with void technology are accelerating. You are becoming something different, Dr. Okafor. Maya had felt the changes herself, a growing awareness of dimensions beyond the conventional four, an ability to perceive quantum states directly rather than through instruments. Is that necessarily bad? It is unknown, Vex admitted, and the unknown represents both opportunity and danger. A communication alert chimed softly. One of the new fold communicators Maya had designed was activating. A moment later, Elder Calathra's luminous form materialized beside them. "It is confirmed," the Elder announced without preamble. "The human neural adaptation is spreading exponentially. Within one generation, a significant percentage of your species will possess the ability to perceive multidimensional space directly." "And the Concord's position?" Maya asked. "Divided," the Elder admitted. "Some fear what humanity might become. Others see potential for a new era of understanding." Maya turned her gaze back to Earth. From space, the artificial boundaries of nations were invisible. Humanity appeared as one civilization on a small blue world. Soon, their horizons would expand beyond that world, beyond the solar system, beyond even the limitations of conventional space. "The universe is stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined," she said softly. "And we're just beginning to truly see it." Vex made a sound that might have been agreement. "The question remains, now that humanity can perceive the true nature of reality, what will you choose to do with that perception?" Maya watched as a small fold appeared near the horizon of Earth, one of the new transportation nodes coming online. Humanity's first steps into a larger universe. "That," she said with a smile, "is what we're going to find out together." The story of humanity's ascension had only just begun. Across the galaxy, ancient civilizations that had observed the distant blue world with indifference now turned their full attention to the species that had defied categorization. The cosmic order that had prevailed for 50 millennia faced its greatest challenge, not from weapons or conquest, but from the unique way human minds perceived reality itself. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, remnants of the long-vanished precursors stirred in their self-imposed exile, sensing kindred minds awakening to the true nature of the void. Minds that might succeed where they had failed, healing the wounds in reality their hubris had created. Humanity's understanding of the universe would never be the same, and neither would the universe's understanding of humanity.